Welcome, everybody, to podcast number 92. We're creeping up there. Number 100 is not going to be that far away. I wonder what we're going to do for that.
Yeah, we got to start planning something.
That's 2 months away. We'll figure it out.
Special. Yeah, by then, we'll be all COVID safe, probably.
Not.
All right. I'm your host. Carrie doesn't like a good story, Kreitz.
Right.
We have Dexter, fat bowlers are better bowlers, Wiseman. Tim never makes a change, Wiseman.
Mm-hmm.
And Daryl, salt and pepper, Bradley.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Pride myself.
I was going to go frosted tips tonight for our guest, but
oh, you should. That would have been a good throwback.
I should have done frosted tips, but that's a few years ago. We got the shirt on. This is a 20-year-old shirt here. Just everybody's wondering.
It looks like it still fits you, so good on you.
It fits good up in the shoulders and the body. It's actually quite wide, and I was pretty impressed when I put it on. I was like, was I really big back then, or did I just like baggy clothes? So I'm not sure. I would have thought that was my skinny D days. So I feel like the shirts back then maybe were just a lot boxier, whereas now they're form fitting.
You need a little bit of room to move, anyways. The shirts nowadays are good for that. Back then, not so good.
As long as the pipes are a good size. Good tightness. You can, yeah.
Does your left arm match though?
Oh, no. Yeah. Just the wrist.
Moving on.
Just a forearm.
Yeah. So people that want to know if they can sign up at patreon.com/5pinuniverse. You can become a patron and help support us. I know, Kathy, I missed you for a few weeks, apparently, so I got you on there this week, so you can't give me crap. But for as little as $2 a month, you can help support us and get some stuff maybe a little bit early, get discounts on our merch, and you can get our merch at store.5pinuniverse.ca. What else do we got going on here? What else do we need to plug? Let's talk a little bit about the Pro League. Obviously, Alberta is under a COVID restriction for a little bit longer. So we've suggested some stuff, shortening the schedule a little bit, moving a little bit farther along. We kind of want to get stuff done before May long weekend. Obviously, that's when people start going camping and stuff like that. You guys have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I just wanted to run. We just really wanted to get it in there and, give something for the people to see and view and build our game and, make people excited about bowling again since they haven't been in a bowling alley for a long time. So, I mean, ultimately, if we can get things going before the end of summer or before, summer hits, I think that's ideal. I think that'd be great for everybody. We'll see how things go with COVID restrictions. I mean, with the new updates, we're kind of in limbo now, not really having a clue when the next time we'll be able to open. But it could be next week. It could be 3 weeks from now. We have no idea. But if we can get it in, I absolutely think we'll do our best to do it.
Yeah. I think, like we were talking before, is, we set the schedule. It was going to go until the end of May. Obviously, we did some surveys in the group to see what people were, wanting to do. Do they want to just wait until fall? Get some in now, modifying to only matches within your own division, definitely on the table. I don't think that, us as a group, like we've talked, we're not ready to make the decision on full cancellation until next year. We still want to run something. And even we were talking here is perhaps maybe there's a different format, an opt-in format or less people format. So, but at the end of the day, we're trying to run something. I mean, Carrie, you said it in your post that the amount of time and effort that you put into the production side of things, we want to try to run something, and I know people want to. It's just too much is too much. Sure, it might make it even easier on us during the days if we scale it back a little bit from what the original thought is to try to do something just to get some product out there. But I mean, we're not ready to make that decision today yet. Maybe in a week or two once we know more with restrictions. So,
I'm confident we're going to try to run something. I know restrictions and stuff are like that are just kind of being kind of kicking the balls a little bit. But at the end of the day, we have to try to give it the best we can. You can either take the easy way out, or you can take the way of, try the best we can, right? And unfortunately, I think we've seen, people want to take the easy way, and I think us at 5 P Universe want to give something back to the sport of bowling we haven't seen for a year, right? So if we have the opportunity to do something, whether it's what we plan on doing or whether it's a different scale or version or whatever we decide based off of what we see on those polls within our group, I think we're planning on doing something. And I think we just want to get back on the lane. So
the thing too is we also got advertisers, right, that are invested in this, and especially prime example is Cargill Canada. They wanted to help advertise on our platform kind of spring through summer when the production was going to come out and stuff like that, so they could reach their core clientele, right? So if we wait till fall, does Cargill really want to advertise on our platform when they're not in their high sale time? I'm not too sure. So there's a give and a take there. And I think if we can at least produce something that could help our advertisers out and stuff like that, it's better than nothing. And I get people know summer's coming and they just want to do the summer thing, but bowling is our core product and that's what we're going to push for. So
I think it's fair that we might want to even say, I mean, why not? Maybe not. Maybe not. Do we want, as long as we run something before May long weekend, that's the goal, right? Yeah. And something that's effective, something that's quality before then, and then we'll see what the summer brings, and maybe there's different events. But I think that would be probably realistic. We want to get something in place before May long, and that's what the current schedule does have, is up until that weekend. So we're not changing anything yet. Your schedules might still look, just might look different too.
Let's face it. I think maybe the other 11 teams out there are just scared about losing to Dream Crushers, and that's okay, because just infuriating. That's okay. Everybody saw the rosters now. We all know that my team is better than your team, Daryl, and everybody else. So it's okay.
Let's go have a drink. Somebody text me. Let's go.
Mark Miller has told me on 2 occasions he's cheering for the Dream Crushers. 2 occasions. He's on a team.
Can we talk to our guest now? Let's
go. All right. So we'll roll in. Our sponsor of the week is All Star Bowling Sales once again. We will be doing a giveaway again for somebody that comments in the comment section. So if you want a chance at that draw, get your name in there and we'll do that draw here later on. All right, let's get into our commercial and then bring in our special guests. So our special guests of the week. Wow, speaking is going to be tough tonight, I can tell. They have been a part of the WCBT scene for a long time, the Open, the Masters, pretty much every type of competition you can think of. And they are involved in sponsoring one of the main events on the WCBT, the TPC at Sherwood. Cassey and Annette Campbell.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Cassey and Annette. How are you?
Doing okay. You guys?
Doing all right.
Wow. Stuck my old shirt.
I love your shirt. I went to look for mine while I was waiting, but I got it buried right now. So
back some memories. That's only a cool 20 years ago, there, partner.
Hey, more than that, wasn't it? It would have been 2003. So no, I guess not. So yeah, just about 20 years ago.
I'll be 100% honest. I rolled in the door and I said to my wife, "I need your help finding something," and we had to go scout the basement into the bins, and it wasn't a very good look. So
yeah,
bud.
Mine's the same. I think mine's up in the tote up way up in the top of our closet right now. We just went to look, but while we're waiting here, but I couldn't find it. So,
Oh, nice.
That's usually how bowling stuff ends up, packed away somewhere, and you never find it again.
I don't know that my 17-year-old shirt would fit me anymore, though. So,
I can guarantee you none of mine do. None of the ones that we were on teams on together with, zero chance.
No.
You
That was
guys
a
must
pretty
have,
strong-
you must have a bin of old clothing around, though, right? Like,
Oh,
or
yeah.
they're still in your closet. Women
Oh, yeah,
guys
for
might
sure.
have them regular. Yeah.
They're in a tote in our closet.
We each have our own.
Yeah.
What other jerseys would they include? Like
Just
all
bowling,
stuff?
basically. So,
Yeah.
Just bowling.
yeah.
Right.
We never really went to did anything else that was really overly competitive in our adult years. So it's been all bowling related. So
Carrie, you must have some old baseball bins of old uniforms.
I always planned on putting some of my old baseball jerseys in like a jersey box or whatever and hang it on the wall, but I wasn't that good, so that's kind of stupid.
So why do you have your bowling shirts up?
Oh, because I'm good.
Ooh.
Speaks the guy that has one behind him when he's at home. So,
I stopped that. I stopped that.
oh yeah, sure. So, how's COVID been treating you guys and your business?
it a year ago today, I didn't know where we were going to head, to be honest with you. So it basically shut us down. So we went from, we didn't ever actually literally get shut down, but we went from about, I think at one point we were 22 people. At this time last year, we laid everybody off. We went down to 6 people, and we're looking for things for those 6 people to do. Tried to keep the 6 main guys that we had, and we survived through the summer that way. And then as soon as the cold weather hit, all the outdoor renovations that were going on turned into indoor renovations, and we've been flat out busy ever since. So we're back up to 20 people, and right now we're actually in the process of training people to put on a second shift to work. So we need to run 16 hours a day right now to keep up. So it's actually been really good for the last 2 or 3, 4 months, whatever it would be. But I don't know that that's COVID related so much. That's just the way the business has gone, right? So.
Right. And we don't ever want to make this an economics lesson for our chat, but how has the lumber sale prices affected you guys?
Not good.
Yeah.
So we just doing some crunching of numbers yesterday. I got a price increase on solid maple lumber yesterday for over 35%. So I was crunching numbers, and my new cost of material is going to be higher than what I was actually selling doors for. So there's some major price increases coming throughout the whole industry, and I think throughout the world on everything. So I don't think it's really going to matter what it is. So.
Well, and they expect that now. They all know what's going on. They know that there's going to be a price increase. There's nothing you can do. So.
No, it's unfortunate in the kitchen industry, I don't know if this is nationwide or just Alberta, but in the kitchen industry, it seems to be a race to the bottom to see who can do it the cheapest. And I think, honestly, we needed some price changes, and this is just going to force the dollar, right? So kitchens aren't going to be, it's not going to be who can do it cheapest anymore. It's who can make money now. So
Right. Yeah.
So
The correct way. Yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate. I had one of our old retired builders come in here last week, and they're still building. They build one house a year now, sort of thing. And they built the house last year, and they priced out the lumber package to build the house again this year, and it was $78,000 more for just the framing package.
Wow.
For the same house. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course. And at the end of the day, it's the end user paying for it, or the Johnny resident is paying for the increases. They have to.
I have a feeling it's really gonna hamper new housing, and older housing and doing renovations is gonna be a real big thing coming back. So it's not gonna be as easy just to sell your house and move into a new one, because that new house isn't gonna be attainable anymore, right? So
Yeah. Is this going to increase the overall real estate, like the cost of real estate too? Because you can't build a new house for.
It's gonna put new housing into a higher dollar value, right? So like a $500,000 house is now going to cost you $700,000 to build. So it's going to take that market differently and put it into a position where starter homes just aren't going to be on the market anymore, right?
Yeah.
Starter homes are going to be condos and apartments and
Mhm.
or the 1970,000 square foot bungalow type thing that needs some work, and that's I think where it's going to adjust, at least in this market anyway. So
Totally.
Should we chat some bowling stuff, guys?
Sure.
Let's do it. Are we playing a drinking game again? So if anybody hears my phone ding or if I change the topic, we have to have a drink. That was fun last week.
It was. I've just got water this week.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, pal.
That's all good. Just chat some bowling. So usually first step is, where did you start? Where did you guys both learn to bowl a couple years ago?
a couple years ago, yeah.
It was about a couple years ago.
We both actually did YBC, so we've started both young. I was, I think, 7 when I started bowling, and I don't know.
I was 5.
5, so
Mhm.
so Annette started in St. Albert, the old Grandin Bowl, which is in the basement of the mall, I think, out there, the old St. Albert Mall.
My mom and dad were my coaches.
Oh,
And I grew up in Edson, so my teaching was out of Edson, is where I learned how to bowl. So.
And wasn't there
That's
time
some-
Adobe's were they involved in the bowling center at that time?
Yeah, Greg Dolby was one of my coaches, actually. So Ian's a little bit younger than me, so he wasn't really on the scene until I was just about out of YBC. He was just starting to come up through the YBC at that point. So Greg was one of my coaches probably in the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years out there. So he did a lot with the Masters out there. And then there's a lady by the name of can't think of her name right now. So that one of the proprietor out there, she owned the bowling alley. Reed was her last name. Debbie Reed, maybe. Can't think of it. But anyways, she was really integral in me getting into bowling. So really nice lady. So.
And Annette, I don't remember. I mean, I vaguely remember the bowling alley in the mall. When did that leave out of St. Albert? Grandin, right?
Yeah, it was Grandin Bowl, and then when St. Albert Bowl opened is when it actually changed over. Everybody moved over to St. Albert Bowl. Yeah, I don't remember what happened with the proprietors there. I don't know if they just didn't want to have it anymore. I don't remember. I was a little young.
I think there was a year or two there where both of them were still open. They had the new
Correct.
St. Albert Bowl up, and Grandin was still running too. But
yeah.
I liked Grandin Bowl. That was neat in the basement. It was pretty neat.
I think the lanes are still down there, actually. I don't think
rumor has it the lanes are still in the basement there. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if that portion's even still there. That mall's been basically destroyed. So
yeah.
So there's nothing left of that mall.
Yeah, there's still a tower.
Maybe
there.
that section is still there, but most of that mall's gone. So it's all condos in there now. So
yeah, I think it was the late 80s or early 90s that the St. Albert opened up, right? So around that time.
Yeah, I think it was the late 80s for sure.
Yeah, and that's when Grandin kind of ceased a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Now, when did you start to be competitive in the youth days? Was there, obviously the 4 steps and there's little Pepsi challenges and stuff like that? Did you play in those events?
I played in 4 Steps to Stardom, and I did the Pepsi Challenge. Pepsi Colas is what it was called.
Yeah.
I did that. It was just 1 year that I did it. I was career orientated when I was younger, so I was more into school and making money.
Yeah.
And bowling was sort of put onto the side. My mom and dad coached me, and they bowled a lot, so that's what got me into wanting to do a little bit more tournaments later on.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't until I met Cassey that I started to get really competitive. I did go as high as provincials in YBC, but I never did nationals.
Right. Yeah. As a youth. And how about you? Youth, did you play in some of these events?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I bowled, obviously bowling out of the north zone at that point, right? So 4 Steps to Stardom, I pretty much went provincials every year. Never ever did make the national, so I always ran up against Cloris Lucas seemed to be the guy that always knocked me out of in the singles. So we didn't have enough bowlers in general for teams out in Edson. So in four steps, it was just a singles event, and I'd come in singles just about every year. So, and then Pepsi's, I bowled in every year. The Northern Zone included Grand Prairie, so I bowled with a bunch of people out of Grand Prairie for the Northern Zone out of Pepsi Colas, and I played in that every year, right from the first year I was eligible till the last year I think we played was down in Lethbridge. It was called the Coca-Colas at that time, so yeah, it switched. So never ever did get it. I'm too old for the youth challenge, so that was after we finished.
That's really
But then none of those ever went nationals, right? The Pepsis and the Cokes were always just provincial stuff. So I think they were phone-in nationals or something.
Phone-in, yeah.
But there was never any. You just went as far as provincial. So
when did you move to Edmonton then, Cassey, and start playing, Edmonton leagues and tournaments?
Moved into Edmonton in 1990 is when I moved into Edmonton and started actually right then. I started bowling out of Roslyn. So that was where I started my adult career. So bowling in the good old free fall lanes and bowled there until it shut down. And then we moved to St. Albert. So played out of St. Albert for a little bit and then Bonnie Doon. And
well, there's a men's and a ladies league out of St. Albert too.
Yeah.
That's where I met you.
Yeah.
There. Yeah. That was
you met him you met him in the ladies league?
Yep,
Yeah.
I did. He was wearing a skirt.
I'm sure you guys have seen that before.
Oh boy.
My kids might have seen that once. So.
Yeah.
And league bowling, do you play, what do you play now? I mean, obviously we've seen you on the Sunday night circuit, but you've also played a few different leagues over your careers. What were some of those league moments?
Most of the time in the last, I would say probably 10 years, I've only played match play. I haven't really got into the league play stuff a whole lot. So either played out of Bonnie Doon or we played a couple of years out of St. Albert and then obviously the Sunday night Shore Park, right? So, but I haven't played I don't remember the last time I played a 5-player team type, just get out and bowl type thing. So
wasn't that when we were in St. Albert?
Might have been,
played, Monday nights we played a 5-player team out in St. Albert.
That was in my previous life. So
yeah.
Did you guys play in the Sunday night league at Collingwood?
Yes. Yeah.
I think that was the first time I met you guys is when I came up and played that league.
Yeah, we played actually when Collingwood was around. We played Sunday nights and Wednesday nights there. So there's a match play on both nights. We played in both of those leagues. So that was a good house. That was a lot of fun in that place. So
it was a great house. Lots of good memories there.
Yeah, for sure. So.
So then let's go to the Open days. When did you start hearing about qualifying for the Open and start trying out for those? Cassey.
It was probably, I'm going to say probably in the mid to late 90s. So it wasn't much before, I can't remember when my rookie year was. It was in Stewart Park, I remember. So same as yours, Daryl. We were rookies together, and that was my first year of making the Open team. We never, I had tried out a couple times, but never really did it. So never made it. So my closest I played out of the 1 year in Linwood, I ended up the alternate to Danny Clapp beat me out and to make the team that year. And then I didn't play for a couple years. The job that I had at that point, our year end was always the end of January, so we had inventory and stuff that weekend. So it was always tough for me to get out of being able to work. So I wasn't really able to start playing the Open until I ended up self-employed. So yeah, there's a good picture.
There you go.
What year was that?
That was our winning year. That was out in Surrey, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's Nick. There's Nick the football
Nick
too.
the
Volleyball. Yeah. I still have the volleyball. It was signed by everybody on there that weekend for Alberta. Great.
How come you're the only one not blowing a bubble?
I don't know. Why am I not blowing a bubble? You know what?
He was too good for the gum.
Maybe I can't blow a bubble. You know what? Not everybody can do everything, I guess, right?
Gum wasn't his thing.
He wasn't part of the team, I guess. So didn't want to be the team event.
Yeah, I think it's not.
But that team you guys had, you guys absolutely just murdered the provincials, right, Cassey?
That was probably one of the better groups that we were. I was involved with it. Well, it was the best group I've been involved as a player. So we were realistically we were a bunch of really unknowns other than Mark Jackson. So I guess Smitty probably had a bit of a name by that point, but the rest of us were really not really known to a whole lot of people. A couple just out of YBC. We ended up going through it with an 18-2 record, and really didn't have much real. I guess not a lot of real close games, right? It was pretty dominating. So,
Casey, were you lead off or you were 3 that weekend?
I think I was either playing. I think me and you were in the middle somewhere, second and third, and second and third. I think we swapped back and forth.
Yeah, I know provincials. I was 2, so I think Smitty was lead off, and I think that the 3 of us played so good. We kept it was 2-3, 2-3, 1-2-3, right?
Yeah.
And that was just a cheer. We basically had 4-5. The guys playing there, it didn't matter by the time that we had played so good. Our top 3 matches were won. I was up top, and every once in a while we put through Norcus up there. I think Jimmy went up into that spot every once in a while too. But it was. You and I were constant the whole weekend 2 and 3. That's right.
Yeah. I think we were 2 and 3 at provincials, and I think they swapped us pretty much at nationals. We went basically swapped positions, and we were in that same position when we went to nationals that year. So that was basically we ended up going to nationals out in Surrey that year and had the same record, 18-2. Throughout nationals that year too. So
was that Red Deer provincials? Yeah. That's right. I watched you guys dominate that.
How cool at Heritage! If you threw a 400, they made you a steak breakfast on the Saturday morning before, and we get to sit down at our own special table. We were allowed to invite one guest with us, and they specially served us this steak breakfast on Saturday morning. It was awesome.
That is amazing.
There's 3 400s for you. Remember who they were?
Me, you, and I want to say Tracy.
Yeah, she threw her 448.
Oh, was it 448 even?
Yeah. She was the first one, and then we went. I think we went back to back.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. You went one game, and I went the next game or something.
Yeah, and I brought Dawn, our coach, I remember, for breakfast. That was exactly like you said, the epitome of the weekend, best weekend ever for me, man. I mean, I'm still storing it. Right.
Yeah. That's still a good memory. So,
and then we had nationals in Surrey, right?
Yeah.
That was, and of course, at the banquet or the opening day, we were sitting in the opening ceremonies room. Not really much going on. So, of course, Johnny and I went and grabbed the volleyball we had just bought at the liquor store or over at the store. We needed something to do. We brought it down to the main banquet hall and started playing pepper in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
People were like,
it stuck with us the whole weekend. So,
yeah, it took it everywhere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good weekend.
Yeah. You remember you getting called on the foul?
Yes, that's right.
Delivered a ball, and you reached over and picked up a piece of fuzz off the other side of the line, and I think we were playing Quebec at that point.
Here's a good question for people in the comments. Tell a quick story or something about a weird foul that you've ever been called on that, something. So what happened, we were playing Quebec.
I think it was Quebec.
I think, yeah. And I went through the ball. Before I threw the ball, I saw this piece of fluff, dust bunny that was a foot behind the foul line. And I saw it, and I went and I threw. I think I picked a corner pin, right? I think it was like on the second ball. Like I spared it up. It wasn't the first ball, guys. Just and then after I picked the corner pin, I reached over and picked up. It had now moved onto the other side of the lane, and I reached over and I grabbed this piece of fluff back, and I came back holding it and threw it out, kind of thing. And next bowler was getting ready to go, and sure enough, the coach starts having all of a sudden, whoa, hang on here, and called me on a foul on, right? And it was like obviously minus 15, and I was like, what do you mean? Like the ball was thrown, it already hit the pin. We're done and over with. No, you're still on the lane in the motion of blah blah blah. So we accepted our foul, and I think 5 frames left, and
yeah, we ended up.
That's bad news. You never want to ignite somebody, and that's all that does.
Especially that weekend, because we were pretty much on fire that whole weekend, and And in that particular game, at that point, Quebec was ahead of us by quite a bit. So they didn't beat us.
Daryl, that rule now is no longer there. So,
what's the rule now? As soon as you hit the
no, it's not. It's not a foul. So it's
yeah. There's no rule against picking things up across the foul line anymore.
It's So
it was a turning point of that game, but for sure.
Well, for sure.
Totally,
why would you give somebody? Why would you give somebody some ammo, right?
I think all 5 of us banged out or close to, and it was just like, wow, fire it up.
So let's segue into that rule since you brought it up. So now, if you follow through and let's say you're following forward, you just fake picking something up and you're good to go.
No. Daryl walked back. He took probably a couple steps back. I'm guessing, right, Daryl?
Yeah.
And then he did. And then
was there.
Yeah, and then he went back and he didn't clear himself off the approach, right? Like,
well, that wouldn't be a foul, anyways. Isn't it supposed to be in the delivery motion?
Correct, yes. but you didn't clear yourself off the approach, right? So
it's not in the moment of the delivery, though.
There was gamesmanship, I'm sure, that was happening, and we had already beat them once, and it was and it fueled us, right? It just took us off.
It was a petty rule, and somebody took advantage of it, right? So karma. Yeah.
I don't think I could play the final match, though. Do you remember what happened there?
I know we got beat in the first match. So
in the first game, if Steve Booker's listening, he would say that he took us in the first game. Yeah. And then we went into the second match, and I think 4 of us started with a 4-bagger, and 4 or 5 in a row, and one started with a 6. Yeah. And it was pretty much over at that point. So were you on the bench in that one, or did you come in? I got pulled. Oh, no, because you had hurt your hand. We got pulled in the first match against the first game.
What did you do to your hand? You punch something?
Yeah, he punched something.
I punched the wall at the side of Scottsdale. Remember Scottsdale? Yeah. The little leg just sort of flips up, and I just smashed it. And that was the first start of my my knuckle, right? My knuckle wars over the years. Then I could just pop it out and it would go 2 inches high. That was fun for 5 years. Anyways, I digress.
But it was pretty dominating in the second match too.
Yeah. How about any other opens? We'll stay on this here that were memorable for you, Cassey, as a player.
As a player, there's memories in every one of them. So I wouldn't say. I think just mainly because there's one there. So
can you explain the photo a little bit?
What happened that year?
Cassey, can you explain the photo?
He had to change his underwear or something. I'm not sure.
We've discussed the story a couple of times on podcast. We don't have to go too deep into it, but there may have had to be some laundry done that weekend. That was my rookie year, and I took full advantage of the first day because I didn't have to bowl the next day. The next day I had to do laundry.
I think that was Lethbridge too, wasn't it?
It was Lethbridge.
That one, so.
That was my rookie year, and the one thing that I really want to say is that, Cassey, you probably made my rookie year, truthfully. It was like a nerve-wracking sort of situation, obviously, to be in. And we didn't really know each other all that well yet, but out of everybody, you were the person that really had my back throughout that weekend. I didn't get to play a whole lot. In fact, the final day, I'm not going to say names, but the final day, our coach came up and he sat with me at breakfast and was like, "Do you realize you have the most 300s on the team?" And I'm like, "Yeah," but I never got to play because I was the new guy, and we had a solid team for sure. But you were the one guy that really had my back, and you were the one that were pretty vocal about the fact that I wasn't really getting an opportunity. And honestly, really appreciate it. Always have been.
That's one thing that's bothered me throughout all of the coaching that I've seen happen in the Open and not just Open. Well, I guess Open because that's where you got the subs, right? So it's more done on what you have done prior, not what your ability is today. And if you haven't proven yourself, you don't always get the opportunity to prove yourself. And that, to me, that shouldn't be the way it is, right? So if you're a rookie on the team and you're averaging 300, you should be playing. So it doesn't matter if you you finished in the 5th spot on that team or the 1st spot on the team. It's what you're doing now for the team is what's important, right?
You all start at the same spot.
So, so there's always seemed to be a bigger envelope for the experienced bowlers to struggle longer than I think should be, right? So.
Yeah, totally agree, and it's definitely carried over into your coaching. We'll dive into that a little bit later too. But you've always been a fantastic coach, and like I said, you definitely made my weekend that weekend, and it kept me encouraged to continue playing. So I will always appreciate that.
Cool.
And how many? And then any more opens there, Cassey? Did you play in? I know there's.
I didn't. Yeah, I played quite a few provincials. I never went to nationals for anything away from that, so that was my only national event. There's a couple. We've had a lot of good times on some mixed teams. So I've bowled and enjoyed playing on the mixed team at times, right? So, and a couple of men's teams have been really good to play on too. It's just I've never been as successful in making it to the national level again from there. So that was my one and only fame, I guess. So.
Now, what was your preference for position in the lineup?
I really didn't care a whole lot as long as I was playing. So, and it really depended on where the team was and who you were playing with. So, obviously, it's different lineups when you get into mixed than it is when you're playing with the men's, right? So, when you're on a men's team, your 5 bowlers are generally all pretty capable, or 6 bowlers are all pretty capable. So, you just want to try to stay in the lineup as far as I was concerned. So. Whether I was a lead or in 4th or 3rd or 2nd or 5th, it really didn't matter to me as long as I was playing. So on the mixed team, there's a little bit more lineup matching or player matching, I guess, a little bit happens there. So generally your stronger male bowler generally ends up in the anchor spot, unless you got someone like a Jen Baker or someone on your team, you can throw her in anchor and she can play against most of the men, right? So but yeah, it really didn't matter to me. So one of my best memories actually was playing in the Open on a mixed team, or another one of my memories, I guess, was in Red Deer. I was playing. Danny Clapp was coaching, and we were playing against Calgary the 2 times or whatever. And Adam Weber was on that team, and I shot up. I was always playing against Adam Weber in the anchor spot, so that was always a good challenge. So that's one that I remember quite fondly. So,
did you beat him?
I think we were pretty even actually, so I don't remember that far. That was quite a while ago, but it's they were always good matches. Anyways, I do remember that. So
I just want to go back. You said you were on the mixed team and you played Adam Weber, and so that would have mean Adam was also on the mixed team, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, for Calgary.
That would have been 09, I think.
Wow, mixed team for Calgary.
It was at the lanes I don't prefer to go to anymore. So.
Right. 08 Riverside. It was 08 in Riverside, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a good segue from Adam's comment there that you made. So
yeah. The highlight of that weekend was watching Danny Clapp jump. So
always a good one.
I think that's what the Dream Crushers are hoping for, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. He might be out of jumping shape though. He's got a little bit of age on him now. So
anyway. How about Annette? Let's talk some open years with you. Now, obviously, you didn't bowl for a number of years and you got a little bit more competitive. When was your rookie year as part of the Open?
2005 was my rookie year. Yeah. Mike Lecoussier was the coach of the ladies team that year. And yeah, I don't remember a lot of it. I was pretty emotional. My most favorite year was 2007 when we went to nationals for my very first time. That was with Perry Gillum on the team. It was a great year.
Yes.
I never laughed so hard in my life. Him and Mike Lecoussier on the same team was just something else.
Who's the bowlers on that team that don't bowl anymore? Chance Anderson was on that team.
Yeah.
Tina Erichak.
Chance.
Yeah. And Melissa Worrell.
Melissa Worrell was on that team. So
yeah, that was fun. That was a great team.
And I mean, you played on some pretty good, powerhouse teams in there too.
Yeah.
And at some of the ladies teams for sure.
Definitely. Oh yes. The Crayon Group. That was a fun year. That was good. That was a very, very powerful team that year.
Right. And
I don't even know how to explain it. Everybody was amazing.
I think that was provincials. Where was provincials that year?
Lloyd Minister.
Right. So we got Christine, Annette, Melissa, Heidi. Who is that there next to Heidi?
That's Haley and
Yeah.
Baker.
Haley.
Shadowed out.
Yeah.
And Baker, right.
Yeah. That was a
that
national goal that year.
champion?
Yeah, in Quebec.
The first and the second, because you guys went back to back, right?
That was the first year, I think, because I think the next year we won gold as well. Yeah.
The next year, you guys won to Newfoundland. The next year, I think you guys we got silver the following year. Yeah.
Oh, we did get silver. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I think we lost to BC.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Haley lost a fake nail across the line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you guys ever hear about that?
No.
Yeah.
We were standing in
heard
the
some
pit,
of it.
and Haley, somebody said they saw something down the lane, and Haley looked at her nails, and she goes, "Oh my God!" So she held her hands like this so that nobody would know she had fake nails, and it was her fake nail that she lost down the lane. We didn't get fouled for it, but that was just a memorable thing. It was funny.
Just ask, is there a foul there?
I'm glad
Only if you pick it
I'm
up,
glad
bro.
there wasn't a foul.
There
Like,
wasn't a foul, but
Yeah,
they wanted to foul us. Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably could have, which is the silly thing. But I'm
But it didn't show. Nobody said anything. I think it went a whole frame, and then it went to another bowler. So it wasn't said for quite a while. So they couldn't foul us on it. But there was quite a pause in game and everything. But
yeah. Fair.
that was something.
The BC ladies are saying nailgate, but you know what? They ended up winning, so it's okay.
Yeah, they did.
Did it become something at the tournament? Hashtag nailgate? I mean, I don't know if hashtags were in then, but did it become like this is a storyline?
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what? All they had to do is show their fingers, right? And then they've been hooped, right? So, yeah. Yeah. No, 2012 is the year that you guys won in Quebec, and I think you guys beat the Manitoba team.
Yeah.
And I remember Heidi. Was it Heidi?
Yeah.
Heidi fouled or something? Was that?
Well, there was so much humidity on the approaches that it was sticky. We were all sticking on the approaches, and it was the air conditioning that was leaking onto the approaches. And she went to go for her slide, and the ball went directly into the gutter, and she fell. Right? Yeah.
I don't think it went in the gutter. I think she threw the ball, but she ended up flat out over the line. And then she had, I think she had to go pick a corner pin or something.
She had a. Didn't you get a chop or something?
Something. She had to make the spare to win after fouling. So.
And then had to keep it on the lane. And then I'm pretty sure she had to keep it on the lane, and I'm pretty sure she picked a 2-pin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was a left corner standing. Yeah. It didn't go in the gutter. That was another tournament.
Yeah.
It was a crazy tournament.
It was another open. She hit her shoe and it went in the gutter. It was so funny. We laughed so hard.
Only Heidi.
But that I'll never forget though when we were in Quebec and she that happened, and then she came back and she collected herself, and this is the strength of her and her mind over matter, and she went up on those lanes and she picked that pin. And she needed that pin, and she did it. And that was just amazing. That was so much fun. So much fun. But that was very hard conditions to bowl in, that's for sure.
Playing an anchor, first time in my career. on a mixed team down to the anchor spot, right? So.
Yeah. No. So I guess Annette, we'll kind of lead into the 2012. You won the Open Ladies single, an Open Ladies team, and you ended up winning the Tournament Ladies for Masters. So you won back-to-back golds that summer.
Yeah.
Not many ladies have ever done that. I think you were on the same team with Jen for both of them. How did you feel about that over the summer? What kind of with your accomplishment? Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It was awesome. The team was both teams were great ladies to play with. There was just, I don't know how to explain that feeling. Just you feel really good about yourself, right? I don't know.
Yeah, you feel you're on top of the world.
Yeah,
You do
literally.
actually. It doesn't really leave you, right? You never forget it. Yeah, that was, and any of the national tournaments, you never forget. Never forget the accomplishments that you've made and the people you played with, and it's awesome. Don't know how to explain it. Sorry, guys.
How many Masters teams have you played on, Annette?
I think I was on 4 or 5. I think
Right.
4 or 5. Yeah.
And most of them right in a row in that same sort
Yeah.
of right
Yeah.
number.
Yeah.
Right.
And then 2. What did we get with you? Was a silver? So yeah. So a couple of gold. I think a couple of golds and a silver. And then I don't remember the other ones. I'm not like you guys. I don't remember all of those stats.
I don't remember
I get them
shit.
excited.
As a master, you just about medal every time you go. I would think on the Alberta ladies side. So it's
It's gold or silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Very good.
Cassey, you've played Masters. Now you've made a Masters couple of how
Yeah,
many?
I played Masters once as well. So
Who was
we
on
went
your team for Masters year?
who was on the team?
Yeah.
Bruce.
How long ago was it?
A young gentleman by the name of Bruce Mortar.
That's our first week today. Wow.
Curtis Deering, Danny Gombach, Kevin Holdsworth, and myself with Lynn as a coach. So
that's a super solid team.
I went to Newfoundland that year, so that was a very fun trip. So ended up winning that year. So that was my first trip to Newfoundland. So
that's awesome.
It wasn't my best performance as a bowler for sure, but I was going through a lot of personal stuff that year. So it was took my kids to Newfoundland with me, and we went for a trip. So it was a lot of fun. So
and you lost your skirt.
Yeah, I lost my skirt on George Street that one night. So
that's not the first time that's been said ever.
No.
Maybe as a guy.
For somehow the Alberta contingent went down altogether to George Street that night, and I don't know what happened, but I got left there with the Newfoundland boys, and that was a bad situation. So staying with Lee Escott and Stephen Brown, and I can't remember who all was there, but I just remember rolling back in the room at 5 o'clock and having to get up at 7 to go bowling. So it was not a good situation. So I did not perform my best for sure. So
it wasn't even banquet night. It was on a regular weeknight, was it?
I think that was right middle of it. That might have been the rookie night. I think that was the rookie night. So that right in the middle of the whole thing. So,
but those rookie nights will get you.
It hit me all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we did that in 2002 or 3 back then. That we didn't. Every night of the week, I think we were 4 o'clock in the morning at the Open, and then bowl at 8. That's what we did.
We were pretty young though, so
yeah,
we were able to do that back then. I can't do that anymore. So I started looking at the clock at 9 o'clock now. So.
Right. Oh, drink, everybody! Have a couple of drinks.
Right, because it's phone day.
Was that the first time you phoned me?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the first time or first time today or first time in the last time. Anyways, fun. Now,
Tracy.
Yeah.
Hey, Tracy was there that year. Maybe she's the one that took my skirt.
The Masters as well. A single 1 year?
Me?
Yeah, did you ever play singles?
No. We played that particular. That was the only Masters I made, and we played. I won I can't remember if I won the last. Both of them were in Red Deer. I won one of them, finished second in the next one, and when it was all done, before all the calculations would come out, everyone was congratulating me as a single. And as it turned out, because of the point system, Gig ended up passing me. So I ended up second, or it was that close, right? So, but Greg was the single that year. So that was my only time I ever played as a master. So,
right.
but I enjoy the team format for sure. So
I imagine that team must have been so intense. Everybody on that team is like super high energy. I bet you that was a lot of fun.
it was a lot of fun. So, and being where it was too. So it's, it was young in my career. So it was only my second national tournament. So I really didn't know what you were in for. Right. So, knowing what I know now, I wish it would have been. I wish I would have done differently from what I was going through. But it's it's whatever it is. You go there, you do what you do. We played well as a team. It was a lot of fun. So
Totally.
So, and I think all of us. I think everybody took their wives that weekend too. So I know Tracy Holdsworth was playing. I know Curtis brought Kara. So we were all of them. All the families were there too. So. It was real good. So
we're trying to. We got a photo coming, but I'm technology challenged just like him. So I just emailed it to Carrie. So Carrie, check your email.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Uh-oh was right, but you're
good. we may have seen this picture before.
It's made its rounds before, but.
I'll bring it up here for you guys.
Oh, it's probably from Kara.
And you still had your skirt here.
Oh, I don't think I've even seen that one.
Wow. Look at you.
I still have my skirt and I have the hula hoop going.
Oh my.
I think he's had a little bit too many beverages.
Yeah. I might have had a few by then already. So I don't know where my skirt ever ended up though. So
for the hula hoop.
I don't think you know how to hula hoop though.
No, I don't. Especially I did that night though.
That's fun.
That was a good time.
That's funny. I've never seen that picture.
No, neither did I. So I didn't know any pictures were still alive from Newfoundland that year. So
they're probably not supposed to be, but
so there's a question we've asked: where was your favorite national event, provincial or national? I guess provincial is only Alberta, so that's not super exciting. But
favorite national event for me is anywhere where you can go and win. I'm all about winning. But I've really enjoyed Newfoundland. Anytime I've ever went to Newfoundland, it's it's just the people, the scenery, the whatever's all involved is always done really well as far as I'm concerned. So
I feel the same. I like Newfoundland. I liked Quebec too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quebec puts on some pretty good nationals.
Yeah.
So
Very, very good.
And Newfoundland's the only place I haven't been.
No.
I mean, great. No.
And I've never been to Saskatchewan for bowling.
They put on quite the nationals,
They
but
put a good show on for sure.
yeah.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
We were at Saskatchewan for nationals for something.
Not for me. I have never bowled
When
in
were we
Saskatchewan.
doing the blocks?
That was
the kids?
It's
no,
the
that was
kids.
that you were there for open mixed team, Casey, but she wasn't
Was he
bowling.
coaching?
He was coaching.
Yeah,
Right?
you were coaching.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And he was part of the and 2017 for Masters, but he was coaching too.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
I had a great question. Had a good question. I know it was right there.
You're showing your age, Daryl.
You were going to say something about Newfoundland because Open Nationals next year in Newfoundland?
Correct. Yes.
Right. So this is part of 5pin Universe. If people need to buy merchandise, can we plug the merchandise here? Store.5pin
Of course we can.
Right? Help us out, buy some merch. We want to build a documentary of some sort that will follow some bowlers along, and we'll basically take them all the way from zones, provincials to nationals into Newfoundland. And obviously, whoever you might
Oh.
need some
Another drink.
drink, right? So,
Cheers, guys.
it'll go towards a good cause, documentaries, media, fun things, and Terry can get to Newfoundland.
Yeah. Maybe the Dream Crushers, after they win the league, will take a trip to do the Harlem Globetrotter thing.
Well, we definitely will. We have Heartland Kingpins in our division, so we're not too worried.
Jeez. You're just trying to stir up Robert here.
I think so. They've made a big addition, and I think Eric has at least.
Oh, Eric's very good.
Yeah, 3 out of 5 of you guys covered, so for sure. You can figure out which 3, I think. So there you go. While we sort of talked a little bit about coaching, let's dive a little bit more into that segment, and then we'll move into some WCBT stuff, some cash circuits, and sort of into that avenue. Coaching, when did you start getting an interest in that, Cassey? Was it going with maybe not make a team and wanted to coach, or was it your kids getting into bowling, or have you always been a coach in your previous and just something that came natural to you?
No, I basically started coaching.
It came natural to him because he's bossy.
I started coaching YBC, I guess, mostly, right? So YBC, and then I also started coaching my kids in fastball, right? So the two girls I coached right through fastball. So I've been involved in coaching quite a bit. So basically adult coaching, as a player, you see coaching and you sit and you wonder and you question a lot of the stuff. And I'm sure we've all been in there as to you question your coach as to why you're making that decision, or why are you not playing, or why haven't you pulled this person that, right? So as a player, you're wondering that. And then as you sit back and watch, you look at some of the decisions that are made and you shake your head sometimes and wonder what's going on, right? So I thought, well, it's maybe it's time to put some new blood in there and give it a try. So we had a lot of times it was always the same coaches that were always involved, right? So took a chance, put my name in, and luckily got picked. So the first year that my rookie coaching experience was I would say it was a very good team. It was a very tough team for me to be a coach, as my players were Lynn Howell, which is the coach, right? So you got me trying to coach Lynn Howell, and then I had Lori Gamble.
Gamble, yeah.
So, and again, she's got a lot of coaching experience. So as a rookie coach going into play at a provincial level, and you're coaching 2 people that have coached a lot, it's a little bit nerve-wracking in that, right? So, but I just put my head down and said, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and we went along through that. So it was a pretty good experience, and unfortunately, it wasn't a winning experience in that weekend, but it was a good experience, and just built from there. So.
Yeah, you've always been an absolutely fantastic coach. You have the right temperament, you have the right personality for it. You have a great understanding of the game, but you're a compassionate person.
Good chat, Dave.
We're losing him.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
I'm back. Yeah, you're a strong voice, but you're compassionate. And you understand the game, and like having those 3 things put together make you a fantastic coach. You have no problem making tough choices and making the pulls, but you're a good person and everybody respects you for it. You also understand people, which is a nice thing too. You know what to say to people to get the most out of them. I mean, who was it? Brett Mapstone you looked at and just told him to try something?
In 2013, yeah.
And it was like the greatest move ever.
Brett's probably one of the toughest guys to coach because he doesn't really have anything that he does. So he was going along that weekend, and all he was doing was punching head pins. I said to him, Brett, do you move? Well, I don't know where I stand. Okay, well, do you change your hand grip or anything? Oh, no, I don't really do that. I said, well, man, you got to try something. And he just went up there and went on fire from there. So
Like
I don't know what he tried, but it worked.
I have to admit, like there's a couple instances. I won't say the years that you've coached. Obviously, your pedigree speaks for itself, Cassey. But I think you have one of the greatest abilities to bring a team together with all the personalities that you have, right? And I know we on our 2013 team. I mean,
multiple personalities.
Yeah. Our 2013 team, if you looked at it, we could have been a goner, and there was and you brought us together with that individual, and I have to speak volumes to that. And the year after, you did the same thing, and it takes a special coach to be able to do that, right?
Sometimes you get lucky though. So sometimes it's not just all on the coach. Sometimes you just get lucky with something all of a sudden starts to work, right? So there wasn't. It's not always a plan. So
yeah.
There's been the 1 year and for sure we basically had made a decision at some point that we were going to shorten the bench and because it just wasn't working, and then my bench come alive. So and it was awesome. So we just found the right spot for that person to exceed, right? So, but it was completely by accident. It wasn't a planned move really. So.
No, but you had the right way. Like I said, it's crazy. You had a right way of drawing in the right people at the right time. I know, when you're talking about Brett, I remember the whole weekend I was going double punch, and then finally I moved 6 boards over, and all I hear behind me is like, "Is he really doing that? Is he really doing that?" And also I threw a strike. He's like, "Okay, whatever." It just But you kept it really, really on ball. I mean, and then in 2016 when you won gold with a mixed team, you had Hislop. I mean, that's a real bummer, right? I mean, he's terrible. And I know he's watching, but he's a cancer to any team. So I mean, kudos to you for keeping that under wraps. So
a lot of times it's. Being on the lanes, you always feel the pressure, right? No matter how long you've been there, how many times you've been there, always the pressure's there. And I find a lot of times keeping the pit calm and relaxed and somewhat in a joking mentality is just as important as the coaching part to keep the pressure off, right? So you're not always just thinking about your shot and what you did wrong up there. And I've been lucky enough to have some people that are pretty jokeful in the pit at times, right? That has made that part of it easy, right? So,
speaking of keeping the humor alive with teams and stuff like that, I just got sent a picture from an old player of yours here.
Oh, there you go.
That was a great team.
That was a very fun team, and that was honestly probably one of my hardest, probably the second hardest coaching that I've ever done. So that was my first coaching ever at the Masters. And I've got Diane, and I've got Jen, and I've got Tracy. And I'm thinking to myself going there, I don't know what I'm going to teach these people. I don't know how I'm going to coach these people because they're just that good, right? So, but quite honestly, you learn as you're going along that everybody needs that tweak or that speak or whatever it might be. It might just be a word. It might just be something that's happened that clicks, and it was actually quite interesting that weekend. So I learned quite a bit about coaching that weekend. So unfortunately, we come up a little short that weekend, but it was a lot of fun. So
right there's 6 powerful women.
Yeah.
It was very amazing. Very amazing.
Quite the team.
And what's that feeling like when obviously at Masters when they go and select a coach and they pull your name and somebody comes and gets you and really you want me to coach?
It's
how does that feel? You know what I mean?
Cool because that's the elite, right? So when it's cool to get picked as any coach. It's really cool to get picked as an Edmonton coach, right? Because as an Edmonton coach, anytime you have a team in Edmonton, you have a legitimate chance of going to nationals with that team, right? So there really isn't a team that you can say, oh, well, this team shot, we're never going to make it. Every team you go there with, you have the opportunity if you perform, right? So Masters is completely different because you're getting picked by the elite bowlers of the province, and you're on your way to nationals, right? So it is pretty neat. So I haven't coached a whole lot at Masters, so 3 times I think. So once as the ladies and twice as the men's coach, and all 3 experiences were very good. It's again, anytime you go as an Alberta coach or Alberta player, you are expected to medal to some degree, right? So I think we always go there with the intention of winning, and it doesn't always work out that way. But I don't know that you ever go to nationals without a coming back with a medal or a hope to get a medal, anyways, right? So it's pretty cool. So
now 2017 would have been the Masters tournament men's team, right? And I believe is that the year with Brad Glynn?
Yes.
Right. So I think Brad would be comfortable with us talking about this because he's brought it up before on the podcast. Is the mental? He had a moment in that tournament where he felt his anxiety and is coming on. Do you recall him in that moment? And as a coach, and I have to deal with this. Did you know about this before, or how did you navigate that situation?
Had no clue of Brad's situation going into it. No. So, as we're going along, everything was going along really well. We come into that game, and we hadn't done anything different. There was no change in the lineup, no nothing. But something changed in Brad. I could see that something had changed, right? So and I didn't know what it was, so couldn't figure it out. And had a little bit of conversations involved in the pit, and took him aside just for a second and said, "So what's going on?" And we had a little conversation, right? And I didn't really, honestly, I've never dealt with a situation like that, so I didn't really know what to say. So I just supported him and gave him the thoughts that, you know what, you can't do more than you can do. You just go out there and throw the ball that you need to throw, and it sort of clicked him out of it, and away we went. So that particular year, we were pretty lucky to have Freddie on our team, and sometimes to carry us through some of the situations, because he was winning the tournament on his own pretty much. So, but that was a pretty awesome situation. So
you spent most of your time just afraid that you'd have to put your bowling shoes on.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is like every day there was some threat that was like, oh, Cassey might be going in.
Right.
Didn't we go through? We went through a food poisoning thing that weekend, didn't we? Or is that was the mixed team that in Saskatchewan as well the year before that I went through the food poisoning thing. So.
Yeah, no, that was
That's
Brad
right.
and Kelsey's pregnancy,
Yeah.
and then there was Matt and Danny's stuff going on, and then
True enough.
there was lots of stuff. You
Yeah.
were taking practice slides in the morning because you had no clue.
And then I had back-to-back years in Saskatchewan that were that way, because the year before that we had food poisoning go through the team. So the mixed team that I was coaching, so we had people that were sick playing, and I wasn't really sure that year either. So
The year after we went to nationals, and the food poisoning went through, but we just bought Depends for the boys and kept going.
Yeah. Well, I think kudos to you, obviously, Cassey, and it's a sign of your character, how you were able to handle a situation so easily on the spot. I mean, there's a chance it could have been handled wrong by somebody different, or by myself or anybody. But kudos to you for handling that, in that situation, that moment, and obviously being able to just focus on yourself and one ball you can. So good job.
Thank you.
It doesn't surprise me though, because as a coach, he's one of those coaches that when you are as a player, you're up on the lane, he's watching you. He's watching everything that you do, your mannerisms, everything. So when you can go to him and ask him, okay, what am I struggling with? What is going on? He has an answer for you, right? Like, he's just amazing.
A lot of it you pick up from body language, right? So you can tell when somebody's body language has changed. So something's happened, right? So
you can feel the energy too, because you've been in that situation. You've bowled enough and you've played in all these things, so you probably know what that bowler is thinking. That you can notice the body language. Yeah, you're definitely thinking it, and then you can start automatically, figuring out how am I going to deal with it.
Very aware with that kind of stuff. It's very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Good.
One of the guys that I learned a lot off of coaching actually was the one year that I went to Masters with the ladies team, but I wasn't coaching, and Mike Violini was coaching, right? And he got picked as the coach, and I went there with him, and he pulled me off to the side, and he asked me to be the second coach. So we discussed a lot of stuff during the game, between games, after games. We had a lot of discussions between us, and I learned a lot from him that year as to some of the stuff you watch for, and he's a very knowledgeable man in the game, right?
Yeah.
So it was a very good combination. So
another very good coach.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool situation where you got a coach sharing their knowledge and transposing it onto another future coach, right? That's That doesn't happen too often. Usually coaches try and keep to themselves so they can get selected a lot more and stuff like that. That's pretty neat.
It was actually a really neat situation because as a player or as a person, you can sometimes see stuff sitting in the stands more than you can see standing in the pit, right? So if somebody was struggling, he would come back and ask me possibly, right? What do you see, right? And it was actually really neat. We worked really well together, and it was a very successful year. They actually ended up winning gold that year, so it was a good combination. It worked really well, and I learned a lot that year from him, and I've used that to my advantage at times, asking people that I know in the stands that, okay, well, this guy's struggling. Do you see anything that I'm not seeing, right? And so it does work. So, and it doesn't always have to be a coach. It just has to be somebody knowledgeable in the game, right? So,
and I think Mike Violini just knew the uniqueness of you, and he knew that you were going to be very valuable in the game of bowling.
Yeah.
So, and that was awesome. He just knew that.
And you challenged too. You were able to be picked as a coach for that.
Yeah, I was picked for Edmonton coach 2 or 3 times maybe, and then got the opportunity to go to nationals the one year as well. So with the team, so
that's right. Kelly said we won 11 straight to win gold in that Masters year.
Yeah, we had a countdown going on. So
countdown of games. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I ended up going actually with Lori. I think that was before I was actually even coaching at the adult level. I went to nationals, youth nationals with the team. So with Lori Gamble as the second coach that year. So.
And who were the players? Do you remember on that team?
Oh Lord, we had one of the Tompkin boys out of Grand Prairie, Curtis Dunnis.
Yeah.
Was it Kayla Amaro? I think might have been on that team.
Tim's got it. You gotta
was it Kayla? We had Christine Poza and what was the other girl from Calgary that was the same?
Shelby Clarkson.
Shelby Clarkson, yeah.
And you had Brandon Bigris.
Brandon, yeah.
And you had
Brandon Brandon only got to play at provincials because somebody got kicked out.
That was at St. Albert, correct?
Yeah. One of the Southern boys, I think, got kicked out of the tournament before it started. So Brandon was the spare or the automatic sub that was sitting there. So he got put in and ended up making the nationals that year. So
right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was on the board, and I was VP of Alberta, and I believe being down there and remembering that prior to the event. And yeah.
So we're taking, I had a funny story about that one actually, because we're taking these kids on the plane to go to Winnipeg that year. And we get through the little security part right at the beginning where we're getting our tickets and stuff. You got to put your baggage and everything on, right? So we get all the kids, they get all their stuff in. We get to the next, we go through security, and we got to have ID on you, right? Well, Brandon had thrown his ID in his freaking luggage. So we get into the security thing, and he has no ID on him. So they were actually pretty helpful. They let us take him through. We had information of what we were doing and stuff, and they let him go through. But I've never known anybody to put all their ID in their luggage and send it down the cart. That was pretty funny.
Somebody that doesn't travel much.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So that was a good year. That was a real good year.
A big accomplishment to cap off coaching here. Always a prestigious thing to be recognized by your peers and people in the bowling world. But 2011-12, the Elite Coach of the Year award. You remember receiving that award and getting that? What did that mean for you?
It meant the world to me. I didn't really know what it all meant, really, right? So, but knowing where it come from, and I was pretty young in my coaching career at that point, so it was pretty special, especially where you're receiving it at that level, at a national level, in front of all the players that you have either played against or played with or coached against at the time. It was really special. So one of my highlights of my coaching career, no matter what it would be, whether it's bowling, baseball, softball, whatever it might be, it was definitely one of my highlights. So
that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So.
Let's switch gears a little bit into some of the cash circuit side of things. So congratulations, great career in the Open Masters and in coaching, both of you. There's some pretty solid teams and good stats there for both of you. But into the cash sort of side of things, some of the favorite memories and some of those things. When did you start playing cash games? Did you travel to the KGs or play in the Rose Bowls? Or Annette, when did you play in a handful of cash events?
When did I start? Was it?
Did you bowl the Rose Bowl?
No, I didn't start playing cash tournaments until I met Cassey. So that would have been in
TPC.
2000.
Actually, probably Winnipeg.
Yeah, 2004 maybe. I remember playing in Winnipeg. That was a lot of fun.
We used to go to the Winnipeg Open every year,
Yeah.
so because we had a big supplier in Winnipeg, so
Yeah.
So we supported the Winnipeg Open every year. I think 3 or 4 years in a row we went down there. So
Yeah, it was good times.
Yeah.
Good cash tournaments, and then it started to be in Collingwood, right?
Mike Davini actually threatened to kick us out one time because we were already out of the tournament. We were all playing cards, and there was Tom Stevenson and Bruce Mortar and us. And
It's my first card game that I had to learn.
and it was like lunchtime, and we were pretty much all gunned already playing cards, and we were too loud for the tournament to go on the Sunday. So he threatened to kick us out of the bowling alley at noon on Sunday morning. So it was actually pretty funny. We had to calm her down, so we were a little bit intense on the card game. So I think Lynn was in that one too. So
yeah. Big surprise. I bet Loon and Bruce made up their own card rules and took all everybody's money like normal.
They changed every round.
The rules changed every round.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise
The
me.
more drinks, the more changes.
Yeah,
The
that's like-
scam artists, I tell you.
they knew exactly what's going on though. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't play card games with those guys anymore.
There's a year in Winnipeg that we found Tom stumbling down the road. Tom
Yeah,
Stevenson.
he did a walkthrough of the the McDonald's drive-through. He walked through and they wouldn't serve him, but he wasn't walking very well. He was all over the road. It's pretty funny.
We've all
Tried to order lunch.
That would have been the start, and then she probably started into the TBC and then the Autumn Open, obviously. So down in Calgary,
Yeah.
she's been pretty successful playing down there. So
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to play with Annette a few times in the 40 cut. Good times playing eight games with you.
Oh, thank you. I think I had more fun just trying to get over the nerves, right?
I'm pretty sure Autumn Open is where I met you, Cassey. It was like my first ever Autumn Open. I think I was just 18. We crammed 8 of us into a hotel room, and I had no idea who you were. I hadn't met you, and I ended up playing on the same set as you on the very corner, 15-16. And I just remember being absolutely terrified of you. And I have no idea why. I was super intimidated. You had your mustache and you were super aggressive, and you were pretty fired up. And I was like, who is this guy? He's like, absolutely intimidated the shit out of me. It was probably the mustache. Almost guaranteed it was the mustache.
handlebars for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
had that mustache since I was 16. So
It was daunting.
it took me that long to grow it.
Yeah.
Had some pretty good memories of the Autumn Open, though. So one of my best matches, game head to head, was actually right there. So I played Bruce right on one of the middle lanes there. I can't remember what the final score was, but it was like a 380 to 360 match. So he ended up beating me, but it was a hell of a good match, and that was in the 15. So it was a really good match. So
I remember playing Mark Jackson at the TPC in Collingwood, and that was incredible. It was. Do you remember what the scores
and they were both 900s.
It was incredible.
Wow.
He just had a way too, though, of keeping you in the game, and then the intensity that Mark Jackson had was unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
I remember bowling with you, DB, in the TPC one year, and I made the cut that year. And do you remember how intense we got and how our hands hurt so bad from slapping hands? And
Was it?
it was the You Betcha year.
Wasn't it an open qualifying though?
Oh, maybe it was open qualifying.
I feel like
Did we both make it?
Yeah.
What was it?
I can't remember. I'm so bad with that.
Was
stuff.
it the year that she broke the record, Cassey? Was there something special about that?
yeah, I think that might have been. There's
Was that the same
underwear
one?
issue that year. So. I think that was the same year,
It
Daryl.
wasn't the same year.
Yeah.
No.
What?
Every year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
It was all I remember is you
I would
betcha.
have known. I would have known, Tim. I would have known. Just saying. I
well,
would have
well, what was special about that year? I don't know.
That
No,
wasn't,
it wasn't that one.
Daryl, that wasn't the year she had her tongue on backwards?
No.
Oh
Never told
man.
Michelle Hoyle anything.
No.
Oh my sweetie.
Well,
I like how Tim keeps
Not a good
prodding.
choice.
No.
it's been nice knowing you, Casey.
There's a really good story there for everybody to ask Annette someday later when you see her.
No, it's not.
Tell us.
No.
10-game record. It was the open qualifying because it would have been a 10-game record that you had.
Yeah, it was.
But
Yeah.
I don't think so. Oh, whatever.
Just DM Casey. He'll let you guys know. Okay. Just DM
Yeah.
Casey.
Go ahead.
He can't log into Facebook though, so
No,
it
Yeah.
is.
no, I can't remember my password. So,
Anyways.
but I do remember what happened that night or that weekend. So,
Really.
Okay, moving on.
So
Yeah.
obviously you guys
Oh yeah, Casey wore a thong one time.
oh,
Kelly just put this on here. Ask Casey about wearing a thong at Youth Challenge
that was a good one too. Yeah.
for
I don't-
Alyssa.
No, it was actually it was yeah for Alyssa and Brittany and Jen Baker. So, what movie did we watch going down on the bus?
I don't know. I wasn't on the bus. I drove down, but it was one of
no,
those
there's-
movies.
A stupid movie on the bus where the guys had to wear thongs. So we went to the bowling alley for practice, and I got a pink thong, and I cut the bottom out of it, and I pulled my pants down and bent over to pick up a pen, and the kids were all standing behind me, so they saw the thong. It started the weekend off great, but you challenged. So
Alyssa was the one who was freaked out the most. But it was just like, whatever.
Anything as a coach to bring the team together, right?
yeah,
That's how you bring unity.
Jesus.
Anyways. Tim, cue up some TPC. How'd they get involved
sorry,
there?
Oh,
sorry, what was that?
TPC. Yes. We want obviously Cassey Annette have been huge sponsors of the TPC for almost 10 years now. They've been our title
Wow,
sponsor.
really? Wow,
It's been a long time. Yes. So we can't thank you guys enough for your support and everything else like that. Yeah, honestly, we couldn't have done our successes really on to you guys. So thank you guys for such a great investment into the sport and into us. So thank you guys.
It's a good investment.
Yes, for sure.
Very good investment.
One of the things we do like to talk about, so we always like to talk to our sponsors and to our committee, is our event. And maybe Annette can bring up is the TPC Invitational. We did bring up on. We started, but she did come up and create the Ladies Invitational. So she is she created that. So Annette, you want to speak a little bit about that a little bit?
The reason why that I wanted to create this part of the tournament was because I wanted to try to get more women involved in the game. I see it's not a bad thing. It's a male-dominated game, and I think women are intimidated by the male, and I wanted to be someone to start a ladies' side of it where the ladies can compete against each other and see the men play as well and maybe start integrating that way. I think it's important that we can all sort of play the game together, and that was it. I just wanted to see more women.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. You're right.
Yeah.
You know, in the invitational, of course, men's or ladies are allowed to play, but 95% of them were men that were playing. So this was a way to, inspire and get ladies to play in their own event. And 8 of them, that's fine. And definitely, I think was received very well. Obviously, would have ran and will run every year that you're possible. So I think that's just a great idea for more ladies to play for high stakes, bowling.
I thought so. That's what I wanted them to do, was just to get them more involved.
It's awesome. It's so fun watching everybody play too. I mean, playing in the Invitational is a super nerve-wracking thing. You have a lot of money up on the line right away, but it was so awesome seeing the ladies get involved with that too, and just seeing the nerves and everything with it. But that's what we need. We need to get people into those situations so they know what that feels like, right? And it's so good for the growth of the game, and it's so good for the growth of the person. And it was awesome that was available to the women that year. I mean, not that the Invitational was ever closed to the women, but
no, it never was. No,
but
it was intimidating a little bit, right? So
for sure.
Just wanted to do it on so that they can all get involved and we can compete against each other, or maybe one day it will be better where all the women can start to integrate with the men into the bigger part of it, or I don't know, but I just would like to see more women in the game because we're just as good as you guys are, you
Absolutely.
know?
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with us. There's no reason for us to be intimidated by you guys, but we are for some reason. So.
And the game doesn't really benefit male or female, right? The ability should be there either way. Yeah. So it just comes down to the male mentality, I think, and competitiveness is stronger. So now, in general, you see some women that have the male mentality. Yes. They stand out, right? Yeah. So you can see where they have that competitive part of it, right?
Strong mind. Yeah.
But the ability between male and female in this game, really, there is no difference.
That's
so
right.
They should be able to compete ability-wise day in, day out. So,
and I think
Diane's done it for years. So
having more women in the game and watching the men and watching how you focus, how you prepare for the game and all of that stuff is really good for them to see because they can do the same thing. You know, I can do the same thing too. I can go up against you guys and compete against you, right? So why can't anybody else? And that's what I would like them to do. So
absolutely,
or have that ability to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that was kind of the thing that started with the WCBT too, when Tracy started giving away some memberships and stuff like that to ladies to try and draw more interest into the touring side of it and playing more of the bigger events and stuff like that. Like, we need a lot more of that, and you are seeing the lady side is growing. It just needs a little more encouragement, and I hope it keeps growing.
So, some success from the Invitational. I heard feedback was Amanda Davini probably would have played, and she was nervous playing even the ladies, and she ended up winning and gave her huge confidence. But for Dexter and my side, when we run the youth seminar, we get a lot of you great ladies and men that show up and support it. It was great when we had our youth out there and our youth were looking at and the girls were like, oh, that's Annette. Oh, that's this person. And oh, that's that person. And then they can see and emulate, right? And it was great on our end because a lot of the girls that they got to see it and they could see the local people, but they could see the other ones, right? And then so now they get to kind of emulate and have their idols. And you see a lot of males on our tour finals, and that's just how it is, right? But
just the numbers, right?
Right, but just to have those girls there and see these ladies there that they can look up to, it was good on our end, our program, and for those people that Emmetina showed up, right? So
it gives them something to strive for, right? It gives them a push to play more competitive, and why shouldn't they? They should be playing more competitive, and I mean the abilities are all there. They just need to be able to get in there and do it, right?
Yep.
So I guess that's a good segue. I mean, we sort of did talk about it. Ladies on tour, right? I mean, our numbers are up, right, Carrie? How? I mean, I know Tracy and Annette, and I know Karen Armstrong jumped on board and to try to promote ladies on tour. How do we encourage these ladies? Because they're, like Cassey mentioned, they're just as good as the men, right? And how do we get these ladies to feel welcome or feel comfortable playing with it, right? More comfortable, right?
Starting, they can't have kids, so because as soon as kids come into play, that takes the priority away, right? So, although that's number one, so
they can play. They can play pregnant, though. We've interviewed enough ladies that they've played at their best when they're pregnant.
Yeah.
As soon as the kid's out, their focus is elsewhere, right? So
if they're not allowed to have kids, we'll never have bowlers.
Wow, true enough. But that is part of the problem, right? So you lose a lot of females to family life, right? So so you get like some of the really good YBC bowlers that come out, they never end up making it to the adult life because they end up in family life, and that family life, unfortunately for the ladies, seems to be more tied in than the men, right? So we have kids and we still go bowling, but women have kids and a lot of them don't go bowling anymore or don't do anything else, right? So I think that's part of it. So
totally.
So trying to figure out how to get the ladies more involved into away from maybe breaking away a little bit from the family life and realizing they need a weekend away here and there, right? So
balance, right?
Yeah. That's hard to do though. So hard to break away from family sometimes.
So you're saying that men should have to step up a little bit more?
Yeah. Right.
No, I'm not saying that.
You guys step up. I'm in for that.
I never said that. That's what grandparents are for.
Can we just hire a daycare at the bowling centers, or?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Which one wants likes babies? Which one likes babies? We'll be part of the tour. To be part of the tour thing. Yeah.
Who would
I'm
be?
not sure how we can get more women involved. I think that it's just having really good role models out there to push them into the game somehow and get them out there and expose them to the tournaments. And I don't know, at the youth challenge level, seeing the competitive bowling, like you guys were saying, right? Coming and watch.
Yeah, bringing that part of it. I think it's got to start at the youth and getting those people more involved, in the ladies at the youth level more involved, right? So you watch the cash tournaments, and you got some of the YBC males bowling. You don't have very many YBC ladies bowling in the cash tournaments or in any of it, right? So trying to get the ladies involved, in the younger ladies involved at a younger level, I think is key to somehow getting them started and getting the taste of it, right? So
and just having good role models out there. Like there's I seen Allison, she said women supporting women, exactly it, right? We support each other, and that's important.
Yep.
All the men support each other.
But we support the women too.
Yeah.
Women beat me just as good as the guys beat me. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So,
You're all beautiful,
I'm one of those guys that is intimidated sometimes playing a woman, whatever, call it what it is, but it's, not wanting to lose or whatever it is. But more often than not, I probably wouldn't have a winning record against ladies in my career. So there you go.
I've never been a coach to do line juggling and matching unless you're on a mixed team. And there are situations on a mixed team where I will play with the lineup just for that reason, because I know there are men out there that struggle against women, and I will mess up the lineup just for that reason, right? So to try to match that up head to head. So and it has worked numerous times, right? So, but Western I don't mix lineups very much, so get a lineup and just go with it, right?
You don't usually deviate too much from the alphabetical order that gets put up.
That's right. So
that doesn't surprise me.
That looks good.
Good strategy, Casey.
It worked.
It did. It worked great.
It did.
We had like 21 games.
One switch in the middle there somewhere along the line, and that was all. So.
Oh my goodness.
It's funny because everybody keeps asking, "What's your lineup? What's your lineup?" You know what? A lot of times you have an idea. It never seems to work anyway. So you go there and you put down a lineup and you say, "There's the names." And when we went into that tournament that weekend, that was similar to what I thought. I looked at the screen and said, "I don't have to do any computer work. That one looks pretty good." So away we went with it. It worked well. So.
Too funny, honestly. That'll be something I'll never forget.
Are you guys looking to bowl again? I know you didn't play last year in the league. We made the transition.
Yeah, we played up until COVID shut us down last year. So
Right. So what bucket list? What's left? Are we, more teams, more open teams, masters teams, singles, coaching? Obviously, hopefully, still a long career left. What's on the bucket list for you?
Oh, gotta have a drink.
Think about that for a second.
I don't know. I don't know that there is much left in it for bowling right now. For us, the desire has to come back to want to compete, and the competitiveness in my game has to come back. So I got to be able to compete to play the game. If I can't compete at a high level, I don't really want to play anymore, and that's just my competitiveness in my game, right? So if I'm not able to compete at that level, I don't want to come out and just to play. So that's how I played sports all my life. And once you lose that drive and that eliteness, then it's just not there for me anymore. So I don't know. I really don't know where my bowling is going. I've missed the people this year. Have I missed the game this year by not playing? Not particularly. So some of that has to do with work stuff and everything else that's gone on. There hasn't been time anyways, but yeah, so I really don't know. I don't know what the future brings next year when it comes back around, if we're going to come back and try, or don't know. So
yeah, would like to, but we'll see what this year brings.
We might try a DB year and just play the tournaments and see how that goes. Although I don't know that really works really well for me, but might give that a try. So for a year and see, and I don't know. I really don't know where it's headed. So it's unfortunate because I've loved the game for many years, right? So and played it since I was 7 years old. So there are sometimes 3 leagues a week and lots of games in between times. So, but with the work that we do right now, there's not really any time to practice and improve on your game. So if you can't compete, you lose that desire really to come out anymore, right? So that's where I've been for the last couple of years. I still want to make the teams. I still want to play at that high level, but I just don't find myself getting there right now. So not consistently anyway. So
aren't you must be getting close to being a senior for Masters?
No, I still got a few years left. So I think. And that's closer than I am.
Whatever. For me, I feel like I have a little bit of unfinished business with bowling. I think that there is a time where I do want to come back. There's some people that I would really like to play on a team with again, or still play with some of the ladies on the team. I just don't know when that's going to be. I do want that to come back somewhere for sure. Yeah, and again, I still want to keep up with the thought of getting more women involved in the game and being an ambassador for that, or being a role model for some of the women if needed, whatever. But I would like to encourage a lot more women to play for sure. Mm-hmm. So
I've definitely noticed on the men's side that the age is getting quite a bit younger than I am. So that's becoming a big gap, right? Larger gap than what I would like to see. So us old guys, Daryl, are just about out of it now. So
Daryl's just starting.
I probably still got 10 years on you, I think so.
But definitely, though, like you said, you go in waves, right? And there's, as Annette says, there's something left to do, and that's why I'm sort of in a way back, and I want to play and compete. And I think that there's definitely people that have lost interest now have come back, or maybe they're in that moment of losing interest, and that's totally okay. Everybody's allowed their own thoughts, obviously, but yeah, both of you guys would be awesome to come back, play strong, compete. We know that you both have it in you. Cassey, I'd love to play with you again. That was, like I said, one of the best years. And that we haven't played in a team together. No. So there's lots to do left. I mean, all these guys here, right, would say the same thing.
Definitely. Like I said, unfinished business. It's just a matter of getting that drive back again to do it. And if it means taking a year off for a break, whatever it is, and come back, then you're more fresh in your mind to play the game because you're ready again, right? So I think that's just what it will be.
So Cassey, you're telling me on your bucket list you never want to play with Annette?
I play with her every night. No. I've
Mic drop. We're done.
We're done. No, it's I would love to. So on a team with Annette, and you know what, I would love to play on a team with my daughters too, right? So they're that would make it pretty special as well. But it's the fact of the matter is I got to be able to compete, right? So I got to get to that level, and they can continue to make teams without me, and that's just not very much fun on my end of it, right? So I got to find the time and find the game back in my game, right? And the desire to want to play. So, right.
That was always something on my bucket list, was for us to be teammates, for sure. I'd love to be on a mixed team with him.
Mm-hmm.
His intensity on the lane is incredible, so that would just feed off, and it'd be good.
So you guys picked up a winter sport here before COVID hit. Can you give us a little insight into the super young sport that you guys started playing?
Well, it is super young if you get up in levels.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely.
So Annette comes home one night and one afternoon she went for a walk with her female friend out in St. Albert, and she comes home and says, so we're gonna go play pickleball. What the hell's pickleball? So I Google it up and watching this, and hey, like there's nationals, and there's like you can go play in Australia, you can go everywhere, right? So okay, well, I'll go give it a try. Whatever, it looks pretty cool. I've never played a paddle sport in my life, so we
or racket sport,
or anything, right? So we go to this free training thing, and we've loved it ever since. And it's actually more of a summer sport than it is a winter sport. So it's played outdoors in most cases. So winter is really tough to find facilities you can play in. So it's played more in the summer, but it's a pretty big game. It's one of the fastest growing sports in North America right now. So it's crazy. We've been down to Phoenix and played. We've been all over Western Canada and played already. So it's a lot of fun. So, and it's very similar to bowling for the people wise, the friendliest people you're going to meet, and you go out and it's a competitive game. Everybody wants to win, but people will help you if you're struggling with something. Somebody will stop and tell you here, you got to try this or something, right? So it's a really friendly game, but a really competitive game. It's a lot of fun. So everybody seems to think it's an old man sport, but we are it starts as a retirement sport, and that's what it always had been, right? But as you get up in your levels right now, as we're moving up in the sport, the age keeps dropping, and now we're playing against the 25 and 30-year-olds again, back into that, right? So they've actually started divided into age groups. So there's groups 50 and above, and then they split those groups up, and anywhere 30 to 50 is in a different group, right? So there is a difference in ability in this sport as to age, right? So for sure.
I actually had a chance to watch Cassey Annette play near my place out there, and they're pretty good. Now, if I do remember, I think they got a free sandwich and a pop with their registration. So I don't know about you, but that sounds like a little retirement thing with it. So
definitely not as drinking as much of a drinking game as bowling is, for sure. So
I don't even think that there is any drinking that goes on when you play.
Not legally, no. So there are guys out there with their coolers and having the odd beer after games and stuff, right? But it's pretty odd. So it's not quite the same party atmosphere as a bowling tournament would be, but it is still a lot of fun. It's a really, really good game, and actually really, really good exercise. So.
And there again, there is a women minority in pickleball. So you see the men are in the more competitive level, and if you want to be in that competitive level, it's a very small group of women that play, right? So something I would like to make bigger for women.
And set up a lot of the same, very similar in some cases to bowling, where you can play singles, you can play mixed doubles, or you can play men's or women's doubles, right? So it's you have all 4 options or 3 options, and you can play those 3 options at any point, right? So or you can play all 3 of those options in the tournament. So,
and what's your level? It's based out of 5, right? So what is your level out of 5?
Right now we're both rated at a 4.0. So you start at 2.0 and you move your way up. So 2.0 would be your starters, and you keep moving up in the levels. So So we've both been rated as a 4.0 right now. So
that's pretty good, right? And one of our tour members, Stu Ryan, plays, right?
Yeah.
And Stu's pretty good, isn't he, as well?
Stu's a good player. Yeah,
He's
he's a 4.5 or a 5. He's a step up from us. Yeah, he's a good player. We took him out when he was out here in St. Albert at the TPC, or at Sherwood for the TPC. We took him out to St. Albert and played that year. I think that was 2 years ago. And yeah, he's pretty good. He's a good player. So
yeah,
that was a lot of fun. So
Fun.
That guy's good at
he
everything.
beat us up pretty bad. So
A little mini circuit amongst us bowlers. You have to take us and invite the bowlers when we're allowed to. Who wants to
Why
come?
not? Why don't we make it a summer sport?
Yeah.
Play bowling during the winter and we'll do pickleball in the summer.
Yeah, let's start with once.
yeah,
Hey, Daryl.
Dexter come out and played once. So
Dexter's good.
Yeah,
That's like
it
You
was
guys have to
fun.
beat Dexter.
It's like the
Yeah.
long bowling phase. Yeah.
DB,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
DB. There's a court at Sherwood Heights we can go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super fun.
Yeah,
I
Bruce
would
and-
absolutely play.
you let me know.
Bruce and Greg play.
Yeah,
Bruce and
we
Greg
got it.
play.
Yeah.
We
We got
play down in Red Deer. So
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Good. Well, good stuff there. Let's segue into maybe a bit of a sensitive area, into some higher up bowling world. We'll be careful to not really lengthen this conversation to an hour or 2 hours. I mean, I'm sure we could go on to it for hours. However, just recently we've seen some Facebook posts, we've seen notice from the Bowling Federation of Canada. So I think we owe it to our listeners or commenters for us to chat a little bit about what's happening. We may have strong opinions, we may not. Let's see where this goes and sort of know that there's probably some sensitive subjects for both sides here. So a little bit of context, Carrie, you want to let us fill us in a bit?
Yeah, for sure. So this will be very simple. There is quite a few posts on Facebook. I'm sure most of our listeners have seen some of them. But the gist of it is Bowl Canada has decided to leave the Bowling Federation of Canada. Bowling Federation of Canada is an umbrella organization that helps get Sport Canada funding and delivers it down to Bowl Canada and the C5 and the Canadian 10-pin Federation. I think it's called the CTF. So Bowl Canada, from the posts we've seen, this is all public knowledge, is that Bowl Canada unfortunately wasn't getting any funding due to something that Sport Canada had decided a few years ago, and then has come back and said that they were wrong, and now Bowl Canada is now available for that funding again. And apparently from the last meeting, Bowl Canada was not going to receive any more of the funding, so they have left the Bowling Federation, which is a huge hit, as that whole organization was set up to bring everybody together. So that is kind of the simplified method for everybody that's listening.
I'm not going to get too deep into things because our family is heavily involved with everything, obviously. So Tim being E5 president, A5 president, I'm on the Masters board. My dad is on the Bowl Alberta board. He is on the Bowling Federation of Alberta board. So we literally have our hands in everything. So there's very as a business and as a family, we need to definitely keep. We need to be Switzerland. We need to be very neutral. But this is a big impact on our game. And I don't know if we really know just to what extent that is going to be. I have lots of questions going forward as to what this is going to mean with our what this is going to mean for our game going forward. But questions like coaching, YBC, you just need your community sport coaching to be able to coach to nationals or whatnot. But they need coaches now. When Alberta Masters puts on the coaching clinics to facilitate those things and those courses, but all the coaching goes down through C5. C5 is the one that corresponds with Sport Canada and all that for the coaching side of everything. It just happens that in Alberta, Masters does the clinics, but that's not the case around the country. It's just for hours, I believe. So what's going to happen with that? I know Bowl Canada is obviously very upset. We don't know all the sides of things, and I really implore people to wait until we get all information before you make any sort of judgments, because we truly don't know everything that's gone on. We're hoping for more answers and more transparency coming up soon. But the one thing that I truly hope for, and I know Bowl Canada is upset, but I hope that Bowl Canada doesn't ask proprietors across the country to make a choice on who to support, because ultimately I think that's really bad for the game as a whole. We need everything that we can right now, and we need to support everything that we can right now. All those other organizations also bring money into our centers, and we certainly need those. And they're trying to, whether people, I think people have the right, their heart in the right place, and they're trying to do the best thing for the game, but they don't always see eye to eye. But I think ultimately they are trying to do the right thing. So I'd like to support everybody the best we can. And I just hope that we don't get put into a position where we're forced to choose. That's the only thing that I ultimately ask.
As a business, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
I
But
think
even as a host, you don't want to have to choose either, right? So you don't want to have to choose whether you're going to bring your youth bowlers through the youth YBC program or you're going to support the Canadian adults, right? So whether you're a proprietor or whether you're the owner running a business or you're just a bowling proprietor, you don't want to have that choice, right? So
absolutely.
So it's all got to work together. Or like the youth bowling is what really drives the sport in the end, right? So we're all getting older. We're not getting any younger. So without that youth bowling, this is all going to die. So
yeah,
I think this whole situation is quite interesting. I've got way more questions than answers and opinions right now. I'm sort of ask a ton of questions so I can educate myself before I start forming opinions. I kind of have an idea, and I've talked to enough. But at the same time, there's a lot of questions. Has this been something that's been brewing up at the BFC level for a number of time? Has the Bowl Canada been talking to all their members? Has the C5 been talking to all their members and knowing this is coming? Where did this come from, and how did this happen? Who decided this? Is this just a vote of the people that the representatives of the BFC? The budgets, the money that Sport Canada gives the BFC. What's those budgets look like over the last 10 years, right? And how have things changed in the last 3 to 4 years? How have things changed in the last 2 years, in the last 1 year? Obviously, pandemic. So, what brought this to the equation, or has this been brewing for a long time? And if that's the fact, then something needs to be done about it. I mean, that can't happen in our sport. We can't have leadership organizations not being able to work together. I mean, it happens. People walk out or people leave. It's happened. And maybe it's gotten to that point, but I think it's very unfortunate that it has gotten to that point. And, some statements or some people, there's more education to be had here about what actually happened and what the underlying premises and knowledge is there. I look forward to this. Is only the last couple of days that I've seen it. There's a way bigger picture here. But something's fishy. Something's going on. I don't know. I don't get. I wanna know. But this isn't right. I'm not saying Bowl Canada is justified to leave. I'm saying it's not right that they left either. It's just there's a lot more to find out, friends. So
yeah, I think for the most part, just kind of the takeaway, because we do have very limited knowledge and stuff isn't very public. All these organizations that are supposedly leading our sport or leading the business side and stuff like that, communication is huge. Like for me, for one, somebody that's been a part of, I guess you could say the competitive side or been a part of bowling businesses. I've worked at a bowling alley. I've bowled at all the different levels, all that stuff. I absolutely knew nothing about it. how does a situation come to be that all of a sudden your federation, all your associations split, and your people, your bowlers, your clientele have no idea what's going on? And that, to me, that's lack of communication. That's lack of talking to everybody to try and figure stuff out before this happens. But like we said, we have limited knowledge. Maybe there is a big underlying issue that we're not unaware of, or that we're not aware of. But
all I have to say is that obviously it's been a whirlwind for me the last couple of days. Like, obviously I really can't comment on a whole lot, like as Dexter mentioned, but I was kind of taken back from all of it. I wasn't expecting any of it. Out here, obviously we work well with our associations out here, and obviously I hope we can continue a good working relationship on a provincial level at least, and we can make something work forward on it. At the end of the day, I think obviously transparency has to come through, and I think that I think there's obviously, hopefully that all works out. But at the end of the day, I mean, we're dealing with a pandemic, right? And do we really need to deal with this, right? I mean, and this is just a generalized statement, right? I mean, bowling's already dealing with one thing. Now we're dealing with another thing, and I'm all for the sport, as all of us on the podcast are, right? And I hope this doesn't really hurt everything in general, and that's just my generalized statement. Because I love the sport, and we all have an invested interest in it, as our listeners are due to. And I think down the road it'll be figured out. I hope so. I just hope it gets figured out positively instead of down a worse path than it can, right? So.
Yeah, I kind of just want to add on a little bit. So obviously, as podcast crew, we talk to each other a little bit here and there, but this is something I haven't discussed with anybody regarding it. But as an NPO, any NPO, you have to be transparent. And I find it very hard when I was doing a little bit of research today on the topic and looking at all their websites and trying to find minutes on these meetings to find out what's happening, why are they having all these issues and stuff like that. You can't find anything. So the only option is to start emailing all these executives and stuff like that. But shouldn't that be the executives' prerogative to let their people know what the situation is and how they got to that point? And if it was coming to that point, letting them know why and all this stuff. It's hard. And like I said, I haven't talked to any of these guys, so I'm sure we'll have input afterwards. But I hope in the next few days we hear more from everybody else's side, because we definitely got some of Bowl Canada's side. Obviously, there's a little bit more to it, but that's all the information that's out there right now. So hopefully people don't come to a decision too early. But
in the end, all these executives should be working for the bowlers, right? So we're the guys the bowlers are the ones that are feeding the sport. So if you're just like any other political situation, if you're not working for the people that are under you, you really shouldn't be part of it, right? So, and making those decisions without having the feedback from the bowlers that are involved, if that's what's going on, it's just not right, right? So, like every bowler's got to have feedback into the decisions like that. You would think you would get an option to have a feedback into decisions like that, right? So.
Yeah, a big decision like that, there should be some discussions. I mean, as a board, you're elected to be the board member, and you have some, powers or limitations to what you can do. I wouldn't think, vacating the BFC without conversation should have been had. I don't know. Again, education is what we're going to do over the next week. Yeah. We're going to try to learn more about the situation, learn more about both sides. Obviously, we're limited to what we can and can't do. Tim's been very good at not even sharing information with the podcast crew that shouldn't be. He obviously is privy to some information until some of that info becomes public. So, like Dexter said, Switzerland, Tim's played even more Switzerland and keeping quiet and holding. So, good job to him on that. And we'll continue to update people, because we are sort of the ones that are communicating with people. We don't see a lot of Facebook posts on any Bowl Canada, any C5, any BFC. So if we can do our part in educating people and communicating the stuff, then we will. Probably with providing some opinions here and there too, whether you like them or not, you're going to hear them. But that's what we're able to do. So.
Yeah.
Normally, I don't mind being TMZ of bowling, but I can't be that way this time. Sorry, guys.
We'll be Barstool Sports. Maybe we'll put out a couple emergency meetings or emergency broadcasts or whatever, and as more information comes privy. But the one thing that is clear, and I hope people understand, is that what's happened in the last day is historic. It will forever affect our game. So don't take it lightly. There's a lot of stuff coming, but it is a major event in our sport. Probably one of the biggest events we've had in our sport in forever. So
something, just a little tidbit, not like I'm picking sides or anything, but I did go to the BFC website today, and they had a nice little YouTube link on their thing. So I clicked it to expect maybe to see some instructional videos or maybe something about the Bowling Federation. And there's absolutely nothing. It's a blank YouTube page. So I hope the BFC is deciding that they are going to put out some videos or doing something like that. Or if you're not, or if it's something new, maybe don't link your YouTube page till you have something up for it. But
yeah,
just something neat. I kind of slid across. I'm like, what the heck? What's going
on? They need to email 5-Pin Universe for some education on live streams and videos and stuff. There you go. Yeah. Send the money to 5-Pin U. How about that, everybody?
Oh no. Yeah. We don't. No, never mind. We don't want any of that.
We're not going to go too far into this. Let's learn more about it. Today's podcast was about Cassey and Annette Campbell, two fantastic bowlers and coaches and ambassadors and overall great people. Sponsors of the TPC. Is huge to see your name there every year. Everything you do and everything you've done. Thank you so much, Cassey and Annette.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely.
I just want to throw a little thing out to you guys too, man, with the WCBT and everything that's been going on. So I was talking to Dexter last night a little bit about it, and the growth in the sport has come into the cash tournaments and the WCBT, right? All the rest of it is falling off. So the innovation that you guys have brought into the game has been huge to bring the game back, right? And all these other little things like Bowl Canada and the C5 and whatever all have to take note and take a look and see what's going on, because you guys are innovating the game. You're bringing it back, right? And everything else, Masters, C5, everything is all falling off, right? Yeah. So there's got to be something said for that. So like everybody's got to take a real look at where this game's going, if it's going to survive, and sort of jump on suit and making some, maybe not major changes, but there's got to be some changes to some of these events to make them last. So
yeah,
so I think they will all disappear eventually. So
yeah, we're just here to help facilitate the sport and whatever that takes. Obviously, there's a C5's a ruling body. Sport Canada is the proprietors. You can't do it without those associations. You just wish they would work together a little bit more. But
well, you guys just keep up the good work. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
You bet. So we're just gonna let you guys go. You can sit in the back room if you want, or log off, whatever you want to do, and then we're gonna do our little draw, and we'll close this thing out.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us on, guys.
Thanks, guys. Sure miss you guys.
Miss you all. Miss you lots.
Yeah. See you in a bit.
Was I supposed to keep a track of the names?
Sure. Or here, I can randomize it.
I'm kidding. I've been doing it. I'm just busting your balls. You're
too good at this.
I got it. Don't worry. But I do have to share my screen though. Hold on. We'll go here. You got to punch it in though. There we go. Oh, I wasn't meaning to put both of that up there, but we'll just go like this. There we go.
There you go.
All right. How many times are we going to randomize this?
9.
Throw a random number at me.
9?
9?
You got
make sure Brett Hendrickson's name's out. He can't win back to back.
It is. It's right up here. Right up here. It says Brett Hendrickson # free annoyed 5-pin guy. 1, 2. What are we playing for, guys?
All-Star. All-Star is giving away something again. Don't know what it is.
Nice.
I love the mystery. We don't even know.
Nope.
7, 8. All right, one more to go right now, Scotty.
Oh, and I can't even see that. That's perfect.
I know. Please back away from your camera. And our winner,
Kathy Davis.
Kathy Davidson.
Hey,
She's on a roll.
She's gonna make a killing off our show.
Carrie, just make sure you send it to her this time.
It's not me sending this product, so she's guaranteed to get it.
You at least had to tell me about it in the first.
Hey, that when she signed up for the top tier, that was before we had our own merch store, so that was completely on me.
Should we give a shout out to our best friends in Manitoba? I mean, they support everything they do. We do. They pro team league, drop in all that stuff, and now here they are doing their own thing, and we want to support them on that, right? So
yeah, they came up with a COVID drop-in thing as well.
That's through the Manitoba Masters, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah.
There you go.
So good for them, and good for everybody getting involved and getting out there and throwing some meaningful balls. It's awesome.
So you Manitoba Masters, please make sure you guys sign up to a $2 Patreon, please.
Yeah, so I posted in the chat there the link that you can go see their website for their 2020 drop-in event, and all that good stuff.
There you go. Covers Daryl's face.
Yeah, perfect. Next week, Tim?
Next week we have Steve Barker. Steve Barker is going to come on. So Steve's going to come on. Yeah. And then in the future, she's going to let me know Alyssa Rack's committed to coming on. So
nice.
Looking forward to have Alyssa Rack on. So
I think Steve's going to be a great conversation. Something that I've noticed him do on Facebook over the years is compiled all the members of his team. And you played with this guy 7 years, this guy 5 years, this guy 6 years, right? So pretty extensive list. I'm sure he's got a ton of stories of Ontario players and some of those, open years. And obviously Steve is a coach too, right? So started off playing similar to a Cassey Campbell.
Yeah. And Steve was running the blog, right, for a while?
No, that was Jeff Young.
Jeff Young. Okay.
Yeah. But Steve did do a blog.
I think Steve was helped doing interviews and stuff like that for him.
He did.
Okay.
He did.
Right. That's what that was. Yes.
Yeah. So Steve would be.
But yeah, perfect. Well, guys, another great podcast. Obviously we'll be talking over the next few days. Hopefully we get some more information on. Like Dexter said, one of the biggest things that happened to 5-pin bowling for quite a while. So we need to. We'll try and get the information out to our audience as best we can for that. So
absolutely.
All right. Have a good week, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep.